Just check here. We're live on Facebook and Facebook and fucking YouTube so far.
Sweet.
So we'll see. Let's see if it has sound.
All right, let's take a look.
Yay, we have
There it
sound.
is.
Wee sound. Okay, now I got to get my TikTok going here. Since I am not yet. Live events date 7. Here we go. And go live. Werewolves review. Yeah, there we go. We are live for the Werewolves. It's really bright.
It is really bright. It looks great.
Yeah, it looks really good. So I'll pop this on here and see how this goes. You can see both me and you're gonna have to lean in a little bit more,
I'll
Mad.
scoot in a little bit.
All right. I'll probably have to strain to read some of those comments when they come in there, but maybe your young eyes will have to do that.
I will help you. I will use my young eyes.
All right. Hello. Be sure to check in, everybody. Deadsville Horror Talk is back.
Hi.
Hello on TikTok and on Facebook and YouTube right now.
So many places.
Yes. Hopefully Restream will be able to stream directly to TikTok soon. If you're watching, please make sure you follow. I need more followers. So join in, say hi. We will get into some reviews of Werewolves very soon. We will do spoiler-free first. And then we'll give you a heads up before we get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen Werewolves yet, you can bow out if you don't want to have anything spoiled and pause or whatever, and then come back later and see if you agree with some of the stuff. But yeah, it's the end of the weekend. Hopefully some people have seen it.
Yeah, didn't it come out on Friday?
Came out on Friday, and we saw it on Friday.
Yeah.
And yes, I've been chomping at the bit to discuss it. So.
Me too. It's a lot to talk about.
There is a lot to talk about. So you will notice, let's see, can I get the chat? There we go. There's our chat. So we'll put our chat overlay on. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can comment, and your comments will come up to, over there, to my left. To your right on the chat column. So check in, say hi. I am Deadsville director Ronan James. I've been a stuntman for over 20 years, stunt coordinator, content creator now, and doing all kinds of stuff. Now more into directing and coordinating, a little less performing. Although you can still see me make an ass of myself in some sketch videos and content here on TikTok or Facebook or one of these places. You can see one of my comedic aliases, Dirk Darkly or
Gotharella
or Tyrannicus Black Soul. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, definitely go check it out.
But yes, mostly I've been in stunts for the last 20 years, and you've probably seen me die, get shot, blown up, get my ass kicked by somebody in something. The most popular things I've worked on are Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and what else? I guess Gotham, the old TV show, the old Batman origin TV show Gotham. I was a stunt double on that and had some acting stuff and fighting on that. And what else? I think of like the bigger movies that I've done.
Those were like the two big ones.
Punisher for Netflix I was in. And man. Oh, well, the last Airbender, which was a flopping blockbuster. But I've been a coordinator on a bunch of stuff, a lot of horror stuff, a lot of independent stuff, and now we are making our own movie, Amityville Barbie, the movie. It's a horror parody. I am the co-writer and director and stunt coordinator and Maddie Morningstar is our co-producer and prop maker, prop master, one of our prop makers.
There's a lot of prop makers.
Yes,
I do some of them.
Yes, we have a lot of props in Amityville Barbie, but Maddie makes. She's made our Necronomicon Pact, which is our big MacGuffin for the movie. That's the object of great power that everybody wants, and it looks just like the. It's a compact of the dead, fitting for Barbie. So,
oh yeah,
made by Maddie, looks just like the Necronomicon from Army of Darkness, Evil Dead, and except in compact form.
Yes, now it's round, and people keep calling it a moon pie. They say it more like a cookie. They think it looks like a cookie
Until you open it.
Until you open it, and then they're like, oh.
Now it makes sense, right? Yeah. So, all right. Well, yes, Maddie has also been a puppeteer and has done some content with me as well. And we watch a lot of movies.
Oh, yeah.
We have a lot of opinions.
Many opinions.
We're both big werewolf fans. As you see, our werewolf.
Yes, we have quite the collection here.
Dan has joined us. If you see, you can't really see it on TikTok because it's
TikTok,
the vertical screen, but Facebook, you can see our little plushy wolves here that are joining us. You guys can kind of see Wolf Daddy here. This one Maddie made by hand.
I think I made that last year for Christmas.
This is a crocheted Wolf Daddy. Does he look familiar?
He looks super familiar.
So yes, one of Maddie's many talents. We'll put Wolf Daddy here so you can kind of see him on.
This guy just does not want to stay up.
Well, nobody can really see him anyway.
He's just gonna stay there. Whatever.
He's the Nightmare Before Christmas werewolf too. He should be standing up.
No, but he is face first on the table.
Yeah. All right, let's check in on TikTok here. Let's see what we have. Hello, TikTok. Make sure you share and invite friends to join us and invite them to follow. Comments, I got to reach out. Megan Addy joining us. Kiara. Samuel Mata. Gloria Johnson. I see a bunch of people checking in. Hello. Make sure you say hi. If you have watched Werewolves, the new Frank Grillo werewolf horror movie, that's what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to do spoiler free. We're going to get into it in a second, and then we'll do a more spoilery review. So for those of you on Facebook and YouTube, we can actually open up some other windows here. Let me see. Where are we? So we want this one. Yeah, that's the one we want. Let's go to our IMDb page. Oh, we don't want to look at The Rock, that's for sure. Skip that. Talk about a flop. Red one. Yikes. What a flop. All right, let me get you back. Let's get us on here. Nope, let's get the wrong thing on share. Got our share screen up. No, that's not what I meant to do. All right, it's got us like really small. Okay. I guess that'll work. I really wish it was bigger, better. Nope, that's definitely not going to work. We'll kill the overlay for a few minutes. Kill the overlay. There we go. Hey, there we go. That's a little better. All right. So we got our Werewolves trailer over here, and I'm not really going to show it because they tend to hit us with fucking copyright strikes and stuff like that on YouTube. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. I'm going to do the synopsis real quick. This is super short. Two scientists try to stop a mutation that turns people into werewolves after being touched by a supermoon the year before. And this is directed by Stephen C. Miller, written by Matthew Kennedy, starring Frank Grillo, Katrina Law, and Ilfinesh Hadera. Where to begin? Scrolling through here, some screenshots. We see our practical werewolves. There's Frank Grillo and what's her name again? I can't even remember.
I don't
Katrina
remember.
Law. Katrina Law. Okay. And I've seen her in other things, but yeah, I mean, she's an okay actress, I suppose. Yeah, I forget what else I've seen her in recently, though. There's got to be a better plot synopsis. Instead, plot synopsis doesn't do it any justice whatsoever.
No.
So let's get like the real synopsis. Let me see what we have here. We'll jump to here we go. The Werewolves Wiki says Werewolves is a 2024 American action horror film directed and produced by Stephen C. Miller. Stars Frank Grillo, Katrina Law, Ilfinesh Hadera, James Michael Cummins, and Lou Diamond Phillips. Shout out Lou Diamond Phillips. Woo! The film was released theatrically on December 6, 2024 in the United States. Premise: a supermoon event triggered a latent gene in every human on the planet, causing anyone exposed to the moonlight to mutate into werewolves, killing millions overnight. A year later, the world attempts to prepare for another supermoon. All right, a little better. That is what it's about.
Yeah, that's kind of how you described it to me.
Yeah, but and all right. So here's like the best way that we like World War Z with werewolves is a way to describe this, except it never lives up to that. Like that's I'm not gonna get into it. Yeah, I don't want to get started down the road yet because we're
a good comparison.
But that's what they're trying to set up here is like this World War Z like epidemic event.
Yeah. And it's like a whole survival based movie.
So this has happened a year before and the world is now preparing for it to happen again. And we very similar to World War Z, we get treated to like one man's story about him and his family.
Yeah.
And not even his family, it's his dead brother's family. Because, they had to add that extra layer of trauma in there. It couldn't just be his wife and kid. They had to have a death because,
of course,
nowadays you have to have emotional trauma and some kind of death in the family to, trauma bond over.
And that's just adding to the human drama, which it didn't add anything to this movie, though.
It winds up feeling so forced a lot of the time. I mean, they do this, like... Some of this stuff gets we're going to get into it. All right, so let's talk about Frank Grillo was really good. I enjoyed him.
His acting I thought was fine.
Yeah, he was fine with what he was given to work with. The character was super one-dimensional. There is zero like character development or character arc.
Yeah,
like he's literally just like the most ripped CDC biologist you have ever seen in the history of the world at the beginning of the movie, who just wants to protect his dead brother's family. And at the end, he's the exact same ripped CDC guy who just wants to protect his dead brother's family. Like there's no character arc. There's no growth. There's no nothing. There's actually at the end, he's like, I should have just stayed home. Like,
oh my gosh. I could not believe that.
That's a little bit spoiler. Yeah, that's a bit of a spoiler.
Like, ridiculous.
Oh, God.
But see, like that's all of the characters, though. No one really grows in this movie.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves, man. Like the hero's journey is the whole point of telling a story like this. When you're going to have an action movie, when you're going to do like Frank Grillo saves the day. Well, that's the hero's journey. The hero has to have some kind of growth. He can't just go everywhere and kick ass and like literally like. I mean, even the peril that they're in is all like manufactured peril. It's all like fake, forced kind of peril that every scene is there has to be. And we'll get into that too. But Frank Grillo is good with what he has to work with. Katrina Law is Dr. Amy Chen. I guess she was okay. I mean, she followed Frank and...
I barely remember her because she really was a forgettable character.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Lou Diamond Phillips was good. I always liked Lou. He was chewing up scenery at the beginning when he was doing his his speech. It was like Hunger Games speech.
We're going to cover
And we have developed moon screen, and let's talk about.
He has some good energy for sure.
This
Like he was
motherfucker-
hyping it up.
Oh yeah, and he said we're working on moon screen with a straight face. Like props, Blue Diamond Phillips, for that one, because holy shit, I was
Oh my
giggling
gosh.
when you said moon screen. The fact that you said it with a straight face,
That's good acting.
yeah, good acting. Because these motherfuckers, like that's the. Yeah, we got to get into the movie here.
Oh yeah, yeah. We can't.
But we're not going to spoil. We're not going to spoil. But like the movie starts out again. It's very World War Z-esque. Like
Yeah.
like they want a cure. They've been working on this cure, and it's the test. And that's the other, like, okay, they're going to do the test. I mean, I guess they had to wait for the supermoon to come so they could do the test.
I guess so.
To see if
yeah,
it
because that's the only
blocked
time it's gonna work.
rays.
So,
I guess.
but
this
like,
is so-
it was just I just felt like it didn't push the movie forward. It was just like, hey, we're gonna do something with this concept, and
we're going to steal World War Z,
that's-
and we're going to try and because that's what they. I mean, that's what. Okay, so but I mean, that let them focus on Frank Grillo and the human drama of the movie. So they develop moon screen, which is like sunscreen to block out the moon rays, which turn you
Yeah.
into a werewolf. Oh man, moon screen. Yep. And you know, and we might as well just start right off with some of my problems with the movie. Some of my problems started right off the bat with the introduction of the moon screen, because even when if you've seen the trailer, if you've read any of the reviews, like we all know that the test goes awry, it goes horribly wrong, and that's why the werewolves break out and then all hell breaks loose. So, but the whole concept of the moon screen is they spray this stuff on and it protects you from the moonlight. They give you eye drops that also protect your eyeballs from the moonlight, because obviously if you were to, your skin can be coated, but your eyes would still see moonlight, so you have to have coating on your eyeballs.
Yeah.
So they had eye drops that had moon screen in it as well. What they didn't have was like a moon screen mouth guard or mouthwash or some kind of gum to chew or something to protect your mouth if you open it. If we're worried about eyes, if we're going to go through, okay, I know it's a dumb 80s werewolf movie that we're trying to do, but if you're going to go through like okay, spray the moon screen on and just go with it. But if you're going to try and make the moon screen more realistic by playing like we need eye drops to go with the moon screen too, well, guess what? You have another orifice right here that opens, and as soon as you breathe or talk, the moonlight is going to go into it. So where's the mouth shit? So right off the bat, I was like, what the fuck?
It
like,
doesn't make sense.
It didn't make any sense. I was like, what the fuck? Why are they going extra with this? And there's nothing for your mouth. Now, if this works, they go, so what there's nothing protecting their mouth. So right off the bat, I was just like, this is already like try hard and not making sense.
Yeah. And like I noticed like when one character becomes a werewolf, it goes through his eyes, and I feel like they had to touch on the fact that like going through your eyes can make that happen.
Well, they look, I guess, yeah, but the guys, some of them were like looking at the moon. I mean, that's why I think it happened, because I feel like if they weren't, it didn't have to go through the eyes, but it might start there too if they see the kind
like if they look directly at it, which makes sense, but it's like, I feel like you would have to protect your mouth too,
right?
Because the moonlight's going to hit that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's going to be tough to keep going. Like, let's do like the quick spoiler-free-ish review, and then we will get to spoilers
quick because there's just so much to say.
Oh, shit. I want to rip this movie a new butthole. Jump back over here. Oh man! All right. Do you share and stuff share to the pages on Facebook and all, please? Our live, make sure.
Yeah, I'll share.
Through the followers and at everyone and all that good stuff. Michael Von Pagan joining us on TikTok. What's up, brother? Have you seen Werewolves yet? Came out on Friday, and Yeah, we checked it out on Friday, and we're disappointed as we left the theater.
Yeah.
And then the more I've thought about it, the more angry I've gotten. And you know what else has made me angry is seeing people loving this movie, like reviews and people like talking about. My friends are like, "Oh yeah, I loved it. It was so great." I was like, "Wait a minute, did you guys not did you miss some of these plot holes? What the fuck, man? What are y'all looking at? Where's TJ? You need to tag him because we need that.
Yeah,
he needs to get in on this. He saw it, and I need
to give opinions.
I know that's why I want.
Said that he liked it.
Yep, I'm going to jump over here and I'm going to tag TJ's ass to get on here with us. I got to jump in and share it as well. So if you're on TikTok and you watched it, make sure you comment, let us know. And I see we have Just Effin' Peachy and Alex, Lisa Killian, Betty Rice, Gothic Pop Tart. Thanks for joining, everybody. We appreciate it. Rhonda Craven checking in. Hi, Rhonda. I'm going to wave and say hi to some of y'all. Hi. Saying hi on TikTok. All right, let me jump back here. So, yeah, if you've seen it, make sure you check in and let us know your thoughts. Oops. Pause that. And we need to, I need to share. Oh, yeah. At everyone. The old at everyone. No, it doesn't do it. I hate it. Nope.
I know, like it didn't. The followers one that I did didn't really work either.
Followers, nope. Followers not working. They're hating us right now.
I know.
No, wait, it did come up. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
You can't just write followers though. You have to write FOLL and wait for the ad to pop up because Facebook is fucking awesome. I'm gonna just tag TJ. He needs to get his ass in here.
I know. Where you at, TJ?
It won't let me tag TJ.
There he is.
There he is. Got to put it, but I had to put his whole name in though.
Of course.
Oh, Facebook, you're awesome. Share the groups. Let's see. Group. There you are. It's a Horror Talk group. Feel free to talk to the people, Maddie Morningstar, while I share.
Hi, TikTok. I don't have TikTok, but hi.
You have to follow Maddie on all the other.
I have everything but TikTok. I got Facebook. I got Instagram. All that good stuff.
All right.
But yes. Hi. You guys like werewolves?
That's that. And we're back. All right. Tagged a few people. We'll put the chat overlay back up.
There we go.
So, yeah, on Facebook and YouTube, your chat will show up with us here on Restream. And if you want to chat with us on TikTok, jump on there. All right. There he is. TJ is here. TJ. There we go. Finally. Had to get you in here, Tej, because we're about to rip this movie a new wolf hole.
A new wolf hole. That's right.
Holy shit. We're going to start discussing all the problems.
Yes. There's just so much to talk about. We have been complaining about this movie since the moment we left.
I know, and I wanted to like this movie so much.
I really wanted to
like this movie.
There aren't a lot of good werewolf movies out there. There's a lot of them, but not a lot of good ones. So I was really hoping.
Most of them are really bad. And the werewolf usually looks bad.
Yeah, but they look really good this time.
Yeah, these practical werewolves look good. All right, let's talk about the positives. Let's get the positives out of the way first.
The couple positives.
Yeah, there's only a few. There was some good gore.
Yeah,
not a lot,
minimal,
but this is PG-13, correct?
Was it?
Still, let me double check. But I believe.
Well, that surprises me because there was a bit of gore in the movie.
Oh, no, it was rated R. Okay, yeah. There was some gore.
It was minimal, but it was good when you do get to see those moments.
Yeah.
I wish there was a little bit more, but that's just me.
The practical werewolves look pretty good.
They look great. I enjoyed them very much. I feel like they had like an underbite, which werewolves don't have that. And they also had like these their eyes would glow like in the moonlight, and that was like one thing that you could see in the darkness is their yellow eyes, and it was really cool. However, they did that.
Yeah, I'll bring this up because there's pictures. I'll do the share screen
But
again.
They really looked good, and they were super gnarly looking.
There's a good shot of one.
Yeah.
Off the screen. But
they were very drooly.
Yes.
They were
very moist.
They were very moist.
Nothing like a moist werewolf. Yeah, they look good. Very reminiscent of Dog Soldiers. I guess
sure.
Smaller though. I felt like these were definitely like stunt guys in suits, whereas Dog Soldiers I felt were like made bigger. They were a little bit more elaborate. Like they were still like creature actors and stunt guys in suits, but
yeah,
I feel like they were up on like some stilts in Dog Soldiers.
Yeah, I feel like they were taller in Dog Soldiers.
Whereas
definitely.
These were just like they got as the biggest stunt guys they could find and maybe put some platform shoes on or whatever. But they were mostly just bigger.
They were all the exact same though, I will say. Like they probably only had a couple of suits, but they all looked almost exact, or they were exactly alike, except for a couple characters here.
They were all a bunch alike.
But
that was one of the good things that they did with it. I will say that they stop screen share. Like they did a good job of like the 80s kind of bringing back the like stylizing the werewolves.
Yeah.
They had like werewolves that had personality.
Definitely personality.
But you like distinctive looks to certain werewolves when some would transform. We'll get into that shortly. But yeah. And I had problems with some of the werewolves too, with the transformations.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the practical effects were good. Practical gore. There was a little CGI in there. There was CGI that was a little wonky doing transformations. And the CGI was okay.
Yeah, it was minimal though. There wasn't a lot of CGI. Yeah. But there was some in there.
There was some that they used for movements when some of the wolves would run and stuff.
They ran away.
And I felt like I could have actually used a little more CGI just for a couple shots, please. Which we'll get into in a second. What else? Good. I mean, Frank Grillo obviously was good.
Yeah,
the stunts were pretty good.
His acting was good, but if you ignore the fact that his character was very one-dimensional, that he plays the character well, but
it's a super one-dimensional.
It's a very one-dimensional character.
Yeah. What else? What else do we have good in here? They used a lot of lens flares. Did J.J. Abrams break into this fucking movie and just lens flared? I think even J.J. Abrams would be like, dial back the lens flare a little here, guys. Can we?
I mean, they had a couple like cool camera shots, I guess.
Set pieces and stuff.
Sure.
There was a couple okay.
There was like, as far as like camera stuff goes, like none of the shots were like super memorable or creative.
No, I mean, I definitely got an 80s vibe, which was cool. And I know that's what they were going for. But I feel like a lot of people, and this is one of the things like, it's my pet peeve. Just because you're making a cheesy 80s werewolf movie doesn't mean it can have gaping plot holes, illogical character decisions, zero character development or story arc. There's still certain aspects of a good story that have to be in place. And there was a lot of potential. That's more than anything. There was so much potential for this movie to be good and to be so much more fun than it was, that I was more angry and disappointed than anything else.
And that was another positive thing is the concept itself is really cool. I love the supermoon idea. I love that it's once a year. It's kind of like a purge situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like Purge with werewolves.
I thought that was super creative. Mm-hmm. That's a different take on a werewolf concept, and I like that a lot, which, as you said, it makes it even more disappointing because there was just so much potential there that just kind of like didn't fall through at all.
Right. When you have this situation with everybody, it's not just one, a couple of people, everybody who gets touched by moonlight turns into a werewolf. Everybody. So there is so much potential there that just went untapped.
Yeah.
Number one, and I'll
concept.
give you this. It's not super spoilery. So, I mean, if you really don't want to hear anything else about this movie, tune out now, because we're going to start getting into spoilers. But this isn't like super, there's not a whole lot of plot spoilery shit to talk about here. Frank Grillo versus werewolves. He goes to do the CDC thing and then fights his way back to his dead brother's wife and kid.
Yeah, that's essentially the whole movie.
That's the movie.
That's the movie in a nutshell.
All right, so let's. God, I forget where I was going with the original part. Okay, oh yeah, so the whole moon thing. You have this setup with where everybody is touched by moonlight can turn to werewolf. Well, instead of just focus on one person and everybody's just like acting like it's the purge, locking your doors, locking this. I guarantee there would be crazy people, and we saw like one of them who was a volunteer who want to be werewolves.
Like a fanatic.
Right. There would be like cults. There would be like the cult of the wolf.
Yeah, like I would love to
religious groups, like Vikings who are just like, yeah, we're going out to fucking embrace this shit and be werewolves. And that is something that totally did not get touched upon, other than one dude who was a volunteer.
Guy who,
and he would have never volunteered either. Like, why would he volunteer if he's trying to be a wolf? He was all into it. And he's going to volunteer to be one of these test subjects to test a moon screen on. He didn't want no moon screen.
Yeah,
what the
actually,
fuck?
That's super out of character now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
No
like,
sense.
Those fanatics should be out on the streets.
Yep. Like they started off and they introduced you to...
They're like wolf packs. They should be like wolf packs.
Yep, they should be out.
And then you have the groups of people who want to go and kill them. So you have...
Right, so you have your two separate. That would have been the thing, these people that are embracing the supermoon and turning into werewolves and saying it's nature or whatever it's meant to be, and then the people that are opposing it, and that would have been a better story.
That's really good conflict.
Probably out of scope for the budget of this movie. This is an independent movie, and even though it made it to theaters. I guess it made it to theaters strictly off of Frank Grillo's star power right now, because of The Purge and because of all the movies that he's involved in, his involvement with DC right now as well. He's a pretty big name in action movies, and he's done The Purge. He did a couple Purge movies. So I guess that's why this went to theaters. I don't see how otherwise this ever made it into a movie.
I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me.
And no offense to the budget, but it is so constrained and crippled by the budget that it's really, I mean, again, it's very disappointing because you get this, they try and build this giant scope, the world. But here's the other part of it. Again, where I would have liked to have seen, I'm never a big fan of CGI, but I would have liked to have seen some more CGI just once. One top-down overhead shot of the city with just packs of wolves roaming the streets. It could have just been shadows.
Yeah, it could have been like an establishing shot just to like show you how dangerous it is outside. Right. But we don't see a lot of werewolves.
We never see more than two. I think the most we ever see is 5 wolves on screen at a time.
5 at a time.
5. There is never more than that. And again, they managed to have CG to do some spots for transformations. Why would you not have an establishing shot to establish the stakes and the real like danger of running the streets with just like a big overhead top-down shot and showing a bunch of wolves trashing shit and killing people and just chaos in the streets?
Yeah, I think
that would have made it
really cool.
As it stands, when the shit backfires, the containment procedures backfire while they're testing the moon screen. And everything goes fucking haywire, and Frank Grillo has to fight his way back. When they hit the streets, it's just like it's abandoned, and then they come across like 2 wolves bashing a car, and you're like,
come across more people than werewolves.
Yeah,
they run into,
exactly. They run into more
other
people than werewolves,
but not.
Oh, and I'm going to get into that scene. Holy shit! I don't want to jump
ridiculous.
there yet. It was so ridiculous.
We'll get there. But...
Yep, we're going to get there, but I got to go back to the testing. We got to get back to the testing. So. TJ checks in. He says there's parts he didn't like. He said the one part CGI they did reminded me of The Howling. It was very cartoonish.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep, I know exactly what you mean. But like, okay, so let's go back to God, let's start at the beginning. So we start the movie with Frank Grillo, and he's going like MacGyver. like A-team montage fortifying a house. We meet Frank, we meet his character, we meet his dead brother's wife, and his brother died, I guess, the last supermoon.
Yeah, the last supermoon, I think it was.
So
yeah,
he's there, and he's kind of like protecting, and he's fortifying the house because the wife, and she's like an 8-year-old daughter or something.
Yeah, a little kid.
8-year-old little kid, right? And they got surveillance and bear traps and all these electrified fence, and he's got all these
everywhere.
Cameras, shotguns. He's trained her on shotguns. He's trained her for all this stuff. Like he has all these fucking measures. He's walked past his neighbor who's also painted with who's got guns and is kind of doing his thing, and we get the message that they both have military training. Him and Frank both have neighbor, and Frank both have. All right, so Frank's fortify boom, gonna fortify the house. Oh yeah, and we're thinking we're gonna get like when I'm watching, I'm like, okay, cool. This is gonna be like a siege movie on the house, and Frank's gonna hold down the neighborhood. That's gonna be the fucking movie. So he's fortifying, all this shit's going down. He's like home alone in some stuff, and we're like, okay, cool. All right. And then the little girl's like, Uncle Frank. I forget what the fuck his name is.
I don't remember what
the fuck his goddamn name in the movie. It's not Frank.
Name.
His character is the buffest CDC agent ever to exist. Wesley. That's right. Wesley, the buffest CDC agent ever to exist in the history of the CDC. But yes, so she said, Uncle Wes, I really wish you were staying. And I'm like, wait, staying? Where's he going? This fucking supermoon, werewolves are coming out, and this is a woman and child alone. You're leaving them alone? And he starts saying, yeah, well, I really want to stay, but I have to go and help. And this is where I'm just, you lose me right off the bat. You lose me right at the beginning of the fucking movie because you're just this is dumb writing that makes no sense. But because the writer wants the story to go a certain way, and he has an agenda to push what he wants to have these two different things going on. He wants to show the sister and the family. And he wants to try and pull heartstrings with the fucking kid and the dead brother and all this stuff. He's trying he's trying so fucking. It's literally try hard.
It's try hard.
It's so fucking try hard.
The whole movie kind of goes that way too.
Oh my god!
Everything is very forced.
So Wesley is telling her, yeah, I've got to go and help them come up with a cure. And he's going to go to this big CDC fucking facility with all these armed guards and scientists and military installation. This is like fucking Fort Knox, right? You think it's you're going to tell me they wouldn't give him a +1? To bring his fucking sister-in-law and an 8-year-old girl? He's going to he's like one of the most sought after CDC biologists and those ripped jack dudes in the world, and they won't let him take these two fucking people to the fucking facility? Bullshit! That is fucking bullshit! Holy shit, it made me. I was just like, when I realized what was going on, oh, I got so fucking mad. They lost me. They immediately lost me. Oh my God. It was so fucking infuriating.
Yeah, and I don't know what their explanation to not let them come with them would even be. It's this is a life or death situation. Right. However, that facility became very dangerous.
Oh yeah, it absolutely did. The house was more, and that's another dumb part of the movie. The facility was overrun. The security measures were nowhere near good enough. They were not prepared at all for shit. It was like they weren't even prepared for it to not work, because when they sprayed it on them, and they were like, "Oh, it's working." And then they started doing their tests and everything. And then the hour came and they were like, oh shit, it's starting to wear off. It's been an hour. It was like they weren't prepared for it. They had no safeguards whatsoever to go up. They were scrambling so bad to get to to do something to stop it. It was fucking ridiculous. I was like, oh my God, what, you have nothing? You have nothing. They were trying to spray the stuff, spray it on them, and they didn't even have the spray ready to go. Oh my God. I was like, so you have no fucking. So what happens if the spray didn't work? The whole place would have been overrun from the second the moon hit them.
Yeah, they would have broken through those.
Oh my God. Oh, it was so fucking dumb. It was so fucking dumb. It was so fucking dumb.
And like, see that I feel like that whole scene, like in the facility doing the tests and everything, like that really didn't need to be in the movie at all. It didn't push the movie forward. It was just like, hey, we're gonna do this thing with this concept because we can, and that's it. I don't know. I zoned out a lot of that, I will say.
Yeah, well, that the testing part was. Actually, I will say this. This is where they also missed another opportunity because there was potential there. Here's what happens in this movie. Wes goes to the CDC facility and then when it's overrun, he has to fight his way back to the sister-in-law's house. Now, the sister-in-law is at home, fortified, and she has a pack of werewolves who are just hell-bent for some reason, because they've made it personal, on getting into her house specifically. There's houses all over the neighborhood. And she has electricity, electric fences, and all this shit. And they're zapping them and pepper spraying them, and they are getting deterred left and right. But these wolves are fucking determined to get into this house in particular for some reason.
Oh, yeah. And like we were saying before, like an actual animal would get like zapped by a fence and then move on. And like we also said, there are probably more people in other houses that aren't completely like
fortified. Like this. Yeah. We saw them. They actually showed other people in houses with no barricades. That was the other part of it. That was the other part of it. Oh, like, God.
Easy access.
Oh, my God.
Like, come on.
The fucking military guy who lives next door, he's a total NRA, Republican, dickhead, anti-woke, total motherfucker. He's got the red, white, and blue paint on his face, and he got Wolf Killer on his military tactical vest. And he's total, and he's totally military. He's got a 50 caliber fucking sniper rifle on his one thing. He's got this fucking he's got an assault rifle in hand that he's fucking target practice with before the shit even goes down. Mm-hmm. He's getting ready, and this motherfucker has no barricades on his windows. You go tell me this dude has no barricades on his windows. The wolves get him by throwing a refrigerator through the fucking window, breaking the window, knocking the shades down that were deterring the moonlight. The moonlight hits the dude, and he turns into our red, white, and blue America werewolf, our NRA werewolf. And this motherfucker is just hell-bent on killing the neighbor woman for some reason.
See, they never touched on that either. Like, he was so determined to get into her house, and they don't ever tell us why. Like, we barely know anything about this character, besides the fact that he's, like, military, like...
And he's not very good military because he didn't fortify his fucking location at all. And then they show you the other neighbor's house. As soon as they showed that, like, this movie is so fucking dumb. As soon as they show, like, we're sitting there, we're watching, they're fortifying, knock, knock, knock at the door, blonde girl, neighbor girl just shows up out of nowhere. It's like, oh, hi, I brought you these batteries or some shit.
Yeah,
you brought you these. And she's like, oh, here you go, honey. Here's something for you. And I'm like, yeah, that girl's so dead. She's dead. She's so dead. She's just introduced right now so that we could maybe feel bad that she dies later on.
I didn't feel bad.
No, you never feel bad when anybody in this movie fucking dies because you don't care about any of them. There is no character development. There's no real backstory given.
No.
God,
that's the whole thing is bad. Like when a character is poorly written, you're not able to pull on your heartstrings. It doesn't work if you don't have a convincing character. And if you do, like, I feel like storytelling also comes into play with this. Like, they could have gone into more depth with everything, but I didn't care about any of these characters. They just, and what I was saying to you before, it was like when you are aware that you are watching a movie instead of being immersed in it, that's a big red flag. And that's how I felt throughout this whole movie, is me like criticizing it the entire time instead of being immersed in this different world. So as we said before, it was very try hard, and it's obvious. It just is so glaringly obvious throughout the whole movie.
So there's and here's where in film writing and screenwriting, there's a 3-act structure. There's all these rules. There's a formula that Hollywood writers use, that Hollywood writers follow. independent movies are supposed to break out of that formula a little bit, but often they don't. They still, because independent film wants to be Hollywood film because they want that money. They want the budgets.
And those structures do work.
And the structure, exactly. The structures are they're like that for a reason.
You know.
But they're like, so one of the guides, rules, tips, whatever, is every scene has to have conflict. There has to be an obstacle. Every scene has to have some kind of obstacle to overcome, to get through, to bypass, to, whatever.
That's a big part of filmmaking.
And it can be big or small. That's what I think a lot of screenwriters tend to forget. Every obstacle doesn't have to be the end of the world. If you keep upping the fucking ante every scene, pretty soon there's nowhere else to go, and then there's no stakes left. So you've really got to like pick and choose how big you want to make your stakes. And it seemed like every fucking stakes in this one was just like the end of the fucking world. Every fucking scene was just like, oh my God. But then it wasn't just super intense. It was like forced intensity that wouldn't make any sense, because so here's the other part of it with the werewolves. And this is the one fucking thing that drove me nuts again. The consistency in the werewolves. So we have the scene, so when the wolves gather, so we have military NRA wolf who wants to kill his neighbor now. He has the wherewithal of that. He's not moving on to other houses. He's going to get into this house if it kills him. He's zapped. There's electric fence and all that other stuff. He is smart enough, and he sees it. We see him working it out. We see him looking at the telephone pole, going up and looking over, and he's smart enough. Him and the other wolves, they push the telephone pole over. It fucking smashes the fucking electric fence down, and they get in. He's smart enough to figure this stuff out. So some scenes, the wolves actually retain some kind of human sense, human intelligence.
Yeah, apparently, and some of them do, because
and then other scenes when we're in the middle of the city where it's supposed to be overrun, we just have these savage werewolves beating up a car for no reason. Like when we first have the fucking, like, they're just dumb animals. They're just dumb animals smashing a car like it's the fucking bonus round of Street Fighter. Remember bonus round of Street Fighter where you just had to punch the shit out of a car? That's what these wolves are doing. They're just beating the shit out of a fucking car in the middle of the street, and Frank Grillo and the scientist lady have to sneak past them.
I mean, they could still have their human intelligence. They could be like, "Hey, I'm a werewolf. I can fuck this car up if I wanted to."
And it was just
the fanatics that we were wondering about. They're beating up the car. Yeah,
I mean that those kind of inconsistencies. Like, it was just like whatever. But that's what I mean by, like, okay, you want peril in the scene, but you're not sticking to the rules that you're making. It doesn't work both ways. Either the werewolves are just instinctual killing machines, or they're smart and they work with purpose together and like still retain some human intelligence. If they're retaining human intelligence, they're not just bashing cars randomly in the fucking city. I'm sorry. Unless there was people in them that they were trying to eat, in which case show us that. That would be fun.
I didn't think there were people in the
car. But that wasn't any. No, the streets were completely abandoned. There was nobody except for the one part. And we should, let's get to that part now, since we're kind of there. And I hated this fucking part. This was one of my, TJ, I hope you're still with us, man, because here's the part where I really prove how outright bad the writing is in this fucking movie. Okay, so we're going to get to the scene where Wes, and I'm going to try and get her name. Let me see. Is it Amy? Wes and Amy. The CDC, the hottest CDC doctors ever. Wes and Amy.
I don't remember Amy very much.
Well, she just followed him. You know what? Amy is the wasted potential in this, because the one cool thing that I thought, and I was hoping that we would see more of, and they only showed like a brief scene, was that one of the 4 test subjects that are going to test this moon screen at the beginning of the movie is Amy's boyfriend. And he volunteers. He had turned the year before. We see his scars from turning when the fucking supermoon happened. Yeah. And but he has volunteered to be a test subject. And like when she sees him, when all hell breaks loose and the whole facility is gone, they've all broken out and they're killing everybody in the facility because security sucks at this. They had no preparation, like I said earlier. Amy stops Frank from killing him, from shooting him, and he kind of runs off. And did he kind of recognize her when he was a wolf? Did he not? He just run because it was the bullets flying at him? Like, don't know. But that would have been a more compelling story. If you wanted some human drama, if you wanted to have a human drama element in this story, that would have been way more compelling, to me at least, than this bullshit secondary story of the sister-in-law and daughter at home playing Home Alone. Because what happened is,
that's an issue too. Just like they kept cutting back to them being scared and being afraid, and that was just.
It was two different movies. It was like two different. It was like watching two different movies, and one of them was so slow and boring that every time we went to it, it completely ruined the pacing of what could have been a good action movie. Yeah, which was like the Frank Grillo stuff. Like if you're following the CDC stuff, even if you get skip out, if you ignore all the inconsistencies in plot and character decisions and werewolf actions and all that kind of stuff that just don't make any fucking sense whatsoever, it still could have been entertaining as just following Frank Grillo and Amy and maybe working the human element of her trying to save her boyfriend, the werewolf. That way we stay within that story instead of having to constantly jump back to this boring, forced trauma bonding, cringe-inducing, horrible, slow, grinding, terribly acted. Like the mom and daughter were probably the worst actors in the movie.
They were bad, and like their entire character dynamic was, "We're scared. Yep. Oh no, don't be scared. Yeah, no, go hide in the closet."
So every time we cut back to them, it's just them sitting there being scared.
It's like, just sitting there being scared. Oh, I love you, dear. Oh, I love you, Mom. And we're scared.
Yeah, I love you, Mom, but I'm scared. And then they had like the whole surveillance thing. This drove me nuts too. Whole surveillance thing set up, right? God. Whole surveillance thing set up. And then all of a sudden we just see wolf faces in the cameras and boom, and cameras go. And I'm thinking to myself, you know how tall the wolves are. You don't think you could have put those cameras a little higher?
He just grabbed it.
Yeah, he just like crunches the camera. Like you just put it exactly at wolf height.
And he had no issue with just grabbing it and crushing it.
No, they didn't jump. They didn't reach. Like the camera's right there at head height. I was like, oh my God. Like, holy shit. Like literally the cameras were like, you didn't think to maybe just a few feet higher. A little higher.
Just a little bit.
They took out every fucking camera. That scene, I was like, oh my God. It was so cool. Like they almost looked like the banana splits, like looking into the camera.
Oh my God.
And the camera goes off.
Like,
oh my God, it was so really fucking funny. Bad. Oh my God, it's so fucking stupid. TJ says not one silver bullet in the whole movie.
Yeah,
oh, well.
right.
Yeah, they didn't even touch on if silver bullets worked or anything like that. That wasn't even.
No, we got shotguns.
That wasn't even a concern. We got shotguns that she ran out of shotgun shells for somehow.
4 shotgun shells.
They have a year to prepare for this. A year to prepare for it. And they only got the chick a fucking one case of shotguns. She was blasting some of them before that, and then she winds up with only 4 left. Like, really? You couldn't have prepared with some more shotgun shells?
Wasted so much ammo.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. So much ammo. Just shooting at the ceiling. And that was another thing. God. At one point, she shoots at the ceiling because she hears something up there, right? And the drywall of the ceiling blows out. And it's just sky, just sky.
Completely
just
true.
Drywall to sky, no roof, no insulation, no fucking, no rafters, no nothing, no crawl space, no attic, no nothing. It's just drywall, sky. Because now the moon is shining in. Because they had to have that be a point of peril. Because remember, they had to show her foot almost getting touched by the moonlight.
Yeah.
And I'm just, again, dumb writing. No house is built with drywall sky. It doesn't fucking fucking work like that.
And not to mention now the wolves have a hole to get into.
Yeah, exactly. You're ruining the fucking.
You're breaking down your protection.
The integrity of your of your fortification is now compromised. Like now it's soft on that spot. Now they have a place to get in, and she kept blasting all over the house.
I understand why she kept fucking going.
It was stupid.
They're not intimidated by the shotgun. At all.
They also weren't intimidated to her talking to them.
They did not give a shit.
She was talking. I'll kill you, wolf. Get out of here. You gotta go home. Go away. Oh my god. It was so fucking dumb. It's so fucking dumb.
It's like they either don't understand English or they don't care.
Yeah. Either way, save your breath, lady. Save your breath.
The wolves are like, oh, the food's talking again. All right.
Yep. She literally, for somebody who Frank Grillo allegedly prepared for this moment, that's what he kept saying. You're prepared for this. You could do this. You're prepared. You're prepared. You're prepared.
No.
I had never seen somebody just waste ammo so frivolously, blasting into the integrity of her structure at nothing but sounds on the other side. Like, wait till you see a fucking wolf at least. Wait till the wolves get in.
Wait till they get in, because then you're actually gonna be able to kill it.
By the time they
try to intimidate it, which clearly didn't work in any way.
By the time they actually got in, she was down to 4 shells.
Because she blasted forced writing again, because they need to have that.
Right, she had to run out of ammo because a smart person would stock up on ammo. But because he needs her in peril, she has to run out of ammo. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. They had a whole year to prepare for this supermoon to happen again, and somehow she runs out of fucking ammo.
Ridiculous.
She only has 1 gun and runs out of ammo for it after a year to prepare.
Yeah,
it's because they have to force peril. It's because the writer has to force it.
It's all forced peril. That's the whole movie, and none of it makes any sense. Like this happens a lot in this movie.
All right, so let's get you got all that. Let's get to the fucking street, because this is the one that really fucking drove me up a wall. Oh God. So they obviously they realized that the moon screen only lasts an hour. Mm-hmm. So they're running. They get through a certain spot, and then they did they run into the mercenaries first, or do they have to refrigerate it first? Do you remember?
I feel like they ran into the mercenaries first, but don't quote me on that.
All right. So at one point, they come upon a square, a town square, and there's a bunch of mercenaries, like paramilitary types, who have a chain gun on top of a fucking Ford Bronco, and they're all out there. And these dudes are covered in head to toe in Kevlar and stuff, and have masks on and all. And they're not turning into werewolves. And they're blasting, and they're fighting back, and they're shooting all this. And they are holding down the fucking location. They are holding down this fucking square. They have taken this town square. They have fortified it. They are holding it down. And they have got it. They are just fucking, they are kicking ass. Yeah. Hoorah! These motherfuckers are kicking wolf ass. They have fought the wolves back. We see them fight the wolves back. They have successfully done it. And again, they're not wearing moon screen. They're just wearing masks.
Yeah, like they have,
and covering their head, their bodies from head to toe. They have goggles on, masks,
like helmets, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so obviously, covering yourself from head to toe
will protect you.
Effectively protects you from the supermoon. Wow, that's really fucking good knowledge. You think that somebody knowing that knowledge, having that knowledge, and then also knowing that the experimental moon screen only lasts for an hour, you might opt for wearing a mask if you're going to go outside. If you were a smart person, a rationally thinking smart person would put a mask on.
Someone with military training should have.
Somebody who's smart enough to be a CDC biologist would probably be smart enough to think this as well. They would probably think it too, because they would have a PhD. Not a pretty hard Dirk, a real PhD. So they'd be a smart person. And they'd probably say, you know what? Fuck this moon screen getting home. I'm going to wear a mask because that doesn't wear off.
Or at least have one with you just in case.
Yep. But no.
But we have to have that force
No,
again.
Frank Grillo and Wes and Amy decide to go mask. They're going to do it maskless, just working the fucking screen and the drops. Screen and the drops every hour. I'd rather every hour spray some moon screen and put drops in and take the chance of that eventually failing and not working either, rather than put on a mask. So you're going to tell me that these two fucking CDC geniuses are going to just go with the experimental moon screen rather than put on a fucking mask? I call bullshit. I call absolute bullshit.
And you also mentioned like you have to have like the stars of the movie show their face off.
Right. And that's the big one. That's the big reason that they didn't wear the masks. That you shouldn't even put the military guys in this thing and made wearing masks an option, because it just raises more questions that you don't have the answer to because you didn't write a good enough script. That's what it boils down to. You don't have the fucking answer to the questions that you're setting up because you don't give a shit about them, because you think people are just out to have a dumb, fun 80s time, which apparently some people are because they like this movie. But anybody with, if you have a fucking half a brain, I hope you're asking yourselves these questions. Why aren't they wearing masks? Well, because they're the stars of the movie and we have to show Frank Grillo's face throughout the fucking movie and the fucking actress chick's face, Amy Chen or whatever the fuck it is, or whatever her name is. They have to show their faces. So that's why. Another
thing is they wouldn't have the conflict with the mercenaries that they ran into because they were like about to take them down because they didn't have any protection on. So that adds more conflict.
Yep. And let's talk about that, shall we? Let's talk about the heroes of the movie actually getting every single one of these military guys killed. They literally got every one of them killed, because they walk out with no fucking masks on, and these military guys have no idea that moon screen works or not. Who knows if they saw the fucking televised test of the moon screen or not. But Grillo and Chen walk out, and the military guy's like, what the fuck? Oh, don't stand down. Show me your hands. You're instantly freaked out. Like I would be too. You're not part of the military group. You just sprung out of nowhere on these dudes. With no warning, hey, what the fuck are they? And they God, I was like, so he steps out. They distract them long enough for the werewolves to come back and get the upper hand and literally kill everybody but Frank and what the fuck is going on? Trying to puzzle. Jesus Christ. Detected inactivity. There's no inactivity. Say hi. God, 5 minutes of inactivity and they got to make me drag a puzzle piece over on TikTok. God damn it. But yeah, so the heroes actually come out, distract this group of paramilitary soldiers who were kicking werewolf ass long enough so that the werewolves can come back in and kill all of them. They kill every fucking one. Kill every fucking one because of Frank and the fucking chick. Because of the fucking heroes. Like how bad of a writer? Like seriously, that's what you wrote? These two fucking distract, and you just distracted people and got them murdered. You literally got them murdered. Man. Look, man, I'm a filmmaker. I'm a writer. I know my movie will probably get ripped to shreds too. I'm sure. I will rip it to shreds myself if it's this fucking bad. Fuck, man. I can't just overlook this shit. I'm sorry.
No, because
Steph Infection has a question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, because like when you have poor writing, like I said before, you're not immersed in the movie at all, and like you just your common sense kicks in. You're like, hey, how come these characters don't have any common sense?
Right. No, that's exactly what it is.
You could tell everything. All of the scenarios are forced, and they don't make any sense. And I also was thinking, so they're walking back to the house, right? Like he doesn't have a car. Where's his car? Why did he walk to this place? Where's the car?
I don't know.
That's just
I don't know. All right, let's just.
Ridiculous.
So Steph has a question. Moonlight is the reflection of the sun's light. So is it UV rays? Would they need UPF masks like neoprene? Maybe they didn't know the material to make a mask out of it to block it. No, well, these paramilitary soldiers knew that the masks worked. These dudes on the street, these just like tactic cool wannabe dudes with a Bronco and a chain gun and machine guns, they knew it worked. Staph infection. So I don't know how the fucking PhD having CDC biologists wouldn't know that these masks and stuff would work. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. It just doesn't like that's like when you get these kind of questions, when I'm writing a script and I go back and I read the script, I see these questions and I ask them to myself. And if I can't answer it and I can't write something to answer it, and I know I have a problem. This fucking guy, this is like, I guarantee you, I can't wait till they do a pitch meeting for this, till the pitch meeting guy gets a hold of this one. Please, I can't wait till the pitch meeting gets a hold of this, because it's going to be like, but when did it? Hey, shut up about that, because that's literally what he's doing every time something comes up that is an inconsistency or contradicting something earlier in the script that makes no sense. It's just, oh, hey, shut up. We're going to keep moving because it's Frank Grillo and guns. And he says, bite me, and then shoots a werewolf. Like, that's literally what this movie is built on. Frank Grillo saying, bite me, and shooting werewolves. That's literally what they're selling you, and you people are buying it and thinking it's good. That is like 2 seconds of the movie. Right after Frank Grillo gets a whole bunch of innocent people that were kicking werewolf ass killed by doing dumb shit.
Oh, yeah. And it just, this whole movie feels like they wrote a first draft and just kind of went with it. And
oh, God.
That's it. And ignored all these issues.
Yeah.
Like they're just like, yeah, we're going to write this once and then we're going to make the movie.
I don't think anybody even read, and nobody even proofread the script. I don't think he even got a second opinion. This is an independent movie. So it's this guy who wants to be a movie maker, and he probably has some money and funding, and he got Frank Grillo attached and was like, yeah, I'm going to do this 80s kind of movie. And nobody told him no. And he's the guy with the money, and he's the producer and director or whatever. So nobody said, yeah, this script sucks. This doesn't make any sense. This is an inconsistency. This contradicts what you did earlier here. If a mask works, why aren't they just wearing masks? Why would they even fuck with this moon screen shit? Just put a fucking mask on, stay in the fucking house. Like, I don't even understand, why are they trying to invent moon screen if masks work? Why? Who need, like, just you wear a mask for a night. If you have to go out in the fucking moon, wear a mask. And wear a fucking bodysuit. One night of the year. Fuck. And look, here's the thing. Like, if the reason is that you're trying to protect people, like we said, there's going to be cult of the wolf. These people that want to be wolves, that want to go out in the moonlight and be turned into werewolves and do crazy shit. Your moon screen isn't going to stop them. Do you think they're going to put it on just because you made it? Moon screen is going to stop people from running out and becoming werewolves somehow? No, you're still going to have the same problem of people going out and killing people, becoming werewolves in the night if they want to.
Yeah.
That's what this movie should have been more about, is like cult of the wolf.
Yeah, because that's really good conflict. You have people who want to be werewolves, and then you have the people who are fighting them and hate them. Like, that's a good story right there.
Way better movie. Way better movie.
Instead, we get Frank Grillo being a badass, trying to be, and a mom and her daughter being scared.
Yeah, we got Wanna Be Home Alone.
It wasn't even Home Alone.
It was like Trauma Bond Home Alone.
Trauma Bond Home Alone.
and one-liner fucking Frank Grillo. Oh, God. It was, yeah. Shall we talk about the end? Now, shall we get to the end? Let's get to the end. We've been at this for a little while now.
It makes me so angry, and you were asleep.
I fell asleep. I was so fucking, I tapped out.
I told him about it, and he's like, what?
I tapped out. They broke, I was glad I fell asleep because they broke one of my cardinal sins. I tapped the fuck out.
I was falling asleep in the beginning of the movie, but my anger kept me awake as the movie kept going.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, tell him what happens.
So at the end of the movie,
Frank gets back to the house.
How does he even get into the house
with the wolves outside and like They've gotten in at one point.
Oh no, I think they were in already because they got in pretty quick.
Yeah, they were in the house. I remember her running at one point and grabbing the kid.
I want to mention another forced thing that made me giggle. So the mom, she gets thrown into the wall by a werewolf, lands on the floor, right next to this conveniently placed axe that she then kills the werewolf with.
I woke up for that part. Like, I saw the fucking axe in the werewolf head.
That's some strategic placement. Where did this axe come from?
Yeah.
But
they were prepared with an axe laying around, but not a second gun or more shotgun shells.
No, just one shotgun. All right, for the ending. So, okay, Frank gets back to the house, and I think there was the neighbor who was outside. He didn't get in yet. And he comes in, kills the werewolves that are in the house already, and then decides to go outside, become a werewolf, give himself the curse to decapitate the neighbor.
Gotta have the final showdown.
And one more awful thing is it was 15 minutes before the sun came up. He could have just stayed in the house for 15 minutes and not have given himself the fucking curse.
Just waited it out. Just waited it out. This is like the same as when you have the zombie movie and the horde is coming and the one person is like, you go ahead, I'll buy you some time. And there's literally no reason for them to stay and buy time. They're just like, it's the try hard, tug at the heartstrings, go out of your way to, just use an overused cliche to begin with.
Yeah, and it was just an unnecessary sacrifice.
There's 15 minutes. Just hold up in the house. He literally went out. He was like, "I'm going to go be a werewolf," and walked out into the moonlight.
And he was trying to protect the mom and the daughter, but it's like, dude, you spent this entire movie protecting yourself from the sun, so you didn't get cursed, and now to fight one werewolf, you give yourself the curse, so you can decapitate
15
him?
minutes
Are
before.
You kidding me?
And it was his neighbor too. You couldn't have just waited for the neighbor to go back to normal and let him just go back to being a jerk instead of like a bloodthirsty werewolf. It's not his fault he's a bloodthirsty werewolf. It's the supermoon.
Exactly. And hey, where's that axe that you had before?
Yeah, it's like Frank made it personal because he didn't like the guy or something, so he wanted to go out and get him.
There was no conflict between those two characters at any point.
Not really. He asked they just had a little conversation at the beginning,
but there was no tension between them at all.
That made no sense.
It was just an excuse to have something exciting happen, which, yes, one werewolf decapitating another werewolf is pretty cool, but the context around it makes me so fucking mad.
Yeah, set it up a little better than that. Come on, man.
That's this whole movie is 4 scenarios that don't make sense.
They should have, I could have written a better ending. Just have Frank getting to the house as the fucking shit's wearing off. And that way he could turn as he's getting to the house. And then he maintains some of his fucking composure, kills the other wolves, and then the fucking sister-in-law has to talk him down from not killing her. As the sun comes up, he reverts back to human, maintains his composure, doesn't kill her, only kills the other wolves, protects the girl, protects the mom. Happy ending for everybody. Way better than the ending they gave us that was just dumb.
Or you could have the neighbor actually get into the house, and then as he's about to kill them, he turns back into human. That would be another.
That could have worked as well.
Too.
Yeah,
just the way
they wanted to kill that guy. They set him up to be an NRA jerk because that's what they fucking
he got a lot of screen time too. So he had to have some sort of ending.
Yep. One more thing. We're running out of battery time here on TikTok. My phone's about to die, so we got to wrap up here quick. Let's talk about one last thing. Let's talk about the fact, and we can hit on a couple of these. Werewolf transformations taking place. There's werewolf transformations. Yeah. They grow. They grow. Frank literally rips out his clothes at the end so he could be shirtless and show off his fucking chiseled fucking CDC biologist physique at the end of the movie.
On that.
I woke up for that. I was like, yeah, Frank, yeah. Chiseled fucking physique.
I mean, he looked really good, but
I'm sure. That's fucking. But yeah, so that, and he has some pants on or something. He has his pants on. So that shit rips off some clothes. Sometimes clothes rip off. Sometimes they don't. The vest managed to stay on the fucking NRA wolf fine. It didn't grow with them, but it stayed on somehow. It didn't pop. The Velcro didn't pop. And the fucking vest fall off. Nothing like that.
It makes no sense because their test subjects in the beginning of the movie had it enlarged collars.
These giant collars
into them.
Like these collars were huge, so you can see the neck was huge.
Super contradicting.
Yep, like the neck was super huge on these metal collars that these guys grew into. The test subject grew into ginormous, and yet we get treated to the '80s punk rock werewolf. Look, man, I give you points for trying. I love a good punk rock werewolf, punk rock zombie. Absolutely. Work a punk rocker in there, but did her nose ring grow with her? The nose ring was huge. The nose ring was the size of a giant hoop earring. Would have been like, and she was in human form. Her nose ring would have been this fucking big.
It would have been huge.
Around her face. The hoop earring around her fucking ear was fucking. It would have been a basketball ring. Huge. You could have shot a basketball through it. I don't understand the physics. She
had a battle vest.
She had a leather battle vest, spiked and
no damage.
No damage. Arms still just sticking out of it. She must have been a big ass chick.
I know.
She must have been a big ass burly biker chick because she grew into, and that jacket still fit just fine. No rips, no nothing. She had all the fucking shit, all the jewelry stayed in.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I get it. He was going for like, rocksteady bebop kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if there's a transformation, jewelry doesn't grow. I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't.
Jewelry doesn't grow. Clothes don't grow. It rips and falls the fuck off. I know it's cute what you were trying to do, but it doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, like I like the design a lot, but it contradicts other things that happened in the movie. Like when Frank Grillo becomes a werewolf, he loses his shirt.
And other people
somehow
too.
had pants when he became human again.
Yeah, he had pants. He didn't want to show his wolf nards. But
as a werewolf, he did not have pants on.
No, magically appeared, pants back on him. He grabbed those off screen and threw them back on
real quick.
So as not to show his wolf junk to his niece, right? God. This movie was so fucking bad. It was so bad. I don't understand what some people watched. Like, all right, you know what? I could understand liking the wolves because I dug the wolves too while I was watching it, and I enjoyed some of the gore, and some of the action was fine, but there was so much missed potential, and there was just so much more that should have been done. Especially if I go to the movie theater and pay movie theater prices to see this fucking movie. I should not walk out as disappointed as I was.
Yeah, it's really too bad because it had a lot of potential, really cool concepts. You could have gone really, really far with it. I wish they spent more time writing it and didn't force so much. The writing just kills me. It's not a good.
They should have had somebody else come in and do rewrites on it. They just had one writer. They should have had somebody come in and do another pass because this dude's fucking script was terrible.
It really seriously missed potential.
It's a great concept.
Such a cool idea.
Look, it's not rocket science. The concept. It's not like the wheel, like groundbreaking, but it's a fun concept. Like when you say World War Z with werewolves, that sounds fucking awesome. But it never gets there. It never, ever, ever gets there. And that's really what it was trying to be. And it just, it doesn't even get to the Purge. It doesn't even make it to the Purge level. Yeah. Like even the Purge had bigger mobs of Purge killers, of people roaming the streets.
World.
Like you really, like when people were on the street outside in the open, you really felt scared for them.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't feel scared at all when they were out in the street with this. It was like
nobody there.
There's no one there, and there's a wolf beating up a car. Oh boy, it's gonna be tough to avoid him. Look out.
There's way too much human drama.
Forced human drama.
Lots of mother-daughter trauma bonding.
I don't mind human drama, but make it good. Make it interesting.
And don't make it the whole movie.
Make it something we care about. Like and that was the other thing. They spent no time building any of the character development. Mm-hmm. There's no character arc, no growth. Frank's the same. Wes is the same. Jacked CDC biologist at the beginning that he is at the end.
Yeah,
the mom and daughter are the same. Like I mean, maybe the mom's a little stronger. Maybe I don't know. I don't even think so because she didn't save the day.
No, she was useless.
She was useless.
She really was useless.
She blew everything. She just she
could have done way better.
Yep. Yeah. This one just missed so bad on so many points.
It's really too bad.
Well, all right, I guess that's going to wrap it up. Do you recommend it?
No. Unless you want to look at cool werewolves.
I absolutely
doesn't make it worth it. It's not even worth it.
No, I absolutely don't recommend seeing it in the theater. Don't waste your money going to see this in the theater. If it's free to stream, I guess give it a watch if you really like werewolves or you really like Frank Grillo or you really want to see what the fuck we were talking about and how not to write a movie script, then go watch it.
It's a good example of what not to do.
Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't. That's why I was so mad and making posts about it, because I could not in good conscience recommend anybody go lay their hard-earned money down at a theater to see this movie.
No way.
It was fucking terrible.
It was really bad. I just...
Man,
I'm still just, like you said, I'm surprised that it made it to the theater.
I am too.
Really?
I feel better now that I got this off my chest, though. I feel better now. I've ranted. I've gotten this out. I've gotten my fucking anger out.
There's a lot to be angry at. I was furious throughout the whole movie. I'm just like, dude.
Yep.
What the fuck, guys?
Yep.
Seriously. And it's once again disappointing because both of us love werewolves, and there's, as I said before, there's not a lot of good werewolf movies out there. There's a lot out there, but not a lot of good ones. So this is just another fucking sinker.
Yep. Another terrible fucking ugh. So such high hopes.
I know. It seemed really, really cool. And when you told me the concept, I was like, that's really cool. There's so much you could do with that. Like,
yep. You know what else we saw too that also looks like shit is Wolfman. We saw the trailer.
Yeah, we saw the trailer for it.
The trailer looks like ass. More forced family drama.
Yep.
Family in the woods. Oh, Daddy's got a virus. Run.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's a Wolfman virus. Oh.
Yeah, I just...
Just give me a good old-fashioned wolf curse movie again, please.
I know, it's just like
a good old-fashioned gypsy curse.
Please just give us something good with a werewolf in it.
Stop.
Please.
Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Stop. Just fucking give us. We don't need fucking.
We just need some good writing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna try and like Werewolves Meet the Purge, at least make it decent. This was terrible.
It was just...
All right, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you check out Amityville Barbie the movie. We are still crowdfunding. We have just finished writing another scene for it.
It's cool. You guys are going to like it.
And it'll feature the divas, the Barbie divas. So yes. TJ says, I think I'm skipping the Wolfman. I am absolutely skipping the Wolfman. I am not watching that shit.
I mean, I'm curious, but I don't.
When it's free, maybe. When it's free, but nope, I am not doing it. Pass. Hard pass. You know what the best fucking wolf movie of the last like decade is this right here.
Oh, Werewolf by Night.
The Werewolf by Night.
Dude, that was cool.
Marvel fucking movie. This was probably the best werewolf movie, short, whatever you want to call it. It was about an hour long, so that's more than a short. It qualifies as a feature, like a little featurette. But yeah, this was fucking awesome.
Super
awesome
cool.
werewolf.
Oh yeah.
Awesome story, great characters, and in an hour they did more characterization with a few with these characters than this fucking movie managed to do in, what was it, 90 minutes,
something like that,
extra half hour, and they still can manage to fucking make me care about any of the fucking characters whatsoever.
Nope.
So, yeah, I mean, let's go watch Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
that'll make me feel better about
that'll
werewolves.
make me feel better too.
All right. Actually, we got to get back to our 25 movies of Christmas.
Oh yeah, what are we watching tonight?
I don't know. We'll have to think. We'll have to see what's out there.
Watch the Grinch. I want to watch the Grinch.
You want to watch the Grinch?
Yeah, I want to watch the Grinch.
Wait, the live action Grinch?
Yeah, with Jim Carrey. Yeah, that's good. That's a good movie.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. I know there's got to be something I haven't seen yet that that's like I'm always constantly like scanning for movies that I haven't seen yet, but then I wind up finding them and they suck. Case in point, Santa Stein. Santa Stein, which they put all these fucking great posters out. They spent more monies on the posters for Santa Stein than they spent on making the fucking movie. The sound is so bad. Please, filmmakers, use a boom mic. Holy shit, even if you have to plug it into your camera, do not film and use the onboard camera mic from across the room. Jesus Christ, it sounds like shit. And then oh my God, look, man, making movies is hard. I applaud anybody that makes a movie. Anybody that gets it done, I applaud you. Independent filmmaking, I applaud you. Good job. But there are some basics, man, some things that just basic. If you want people to watch your movie, please take sound into consideration. It's man, I would rather see somebody get actual sound than worry about a good camera. Like, if as long as you have an HD camera, 4K these days, you don't have to have a fancy red, you don't have to have an RE, you don't have to have all that. You can shoot on DSLRs. That's fine. But please have sound. Please have a boom mic or lav mics or something. Fucking digital recorder, something, man. Fuck.
I know. And it's not just that, it's lighting too. People do not understand the concept of lighting.
Oh no.
Especially a lot of the stuff we see on Tubi. It's just like we'll see like a screenshot of it. And
it's just
like,
God. It's just whatever
just
lights are on in the house.
The lights in the house.
It's just the lights that are on in the house. You don't know how to light a scene to give any kind of dramatic aesthetic or anything. But I can live with that. I can live as long as it's not as long as it's not like underlit. Like if I could live with amateur lighting as long as it's lit well enough that I can see everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it can
as
be
long as it's
acceptable.
unless it's something where it's supposed to be dark to kind of like. But if I'm supposed to be seeing stuff and I can't see it because you don't know how to fucking light a scene, then we have a problem. But sound, please have a boom mic. Nothing is more annoying. And Santa Stein was the perfect example of this shit. Nothing is more annoying than trying to watch a movie and one line in the close-up is like, and then the next line in a wide is like, and then they keep cutting back and forth between that. I'm like, oh my God, did you not even listen to this? Did you watch this before you put it on Tubi? What the fuck?
I don't think Tubi watches the movies that they put.
I don't think Tubi does either. They don't give a shit. I don't think they give a shit at this point. They just take anything they can put an ad on. Anything, literally anything they can put an ad on. TJ asks, TJ says, I'm watching a musical tonight. Yes, we watched the musical last night, Anna and the Apocalypse. And Maddie hates musicals, but did enjoy it.
Yes, it was a good movie, but I'm not a musical person.
No, she doesn't do the musicals.
Not usually.
And then TJ asks, have you seen Better Watch Out? Is that the one with the kid and like the crush on the babysitter, TJ, on Christmas? And he... spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, he plans a home invasion or stages and pays somebody for a home invasion to try and impress the babysitter. And when it backfires and she figures him out, he goes like incel on her. I think, it's it.
Yeah, I think I watched that with you.
Yeah, I think we watched that last year.
Yeah,
we watched that one last year. Yeah, that was good. Super intense, and I had no idea that was the twist that was coming. That was a fun one. Very creepy. Lots of incel vibes. Yikes.
I like vaguely remember that one.
But yeah, I definitely remember it. It was a good one. But yeah, enjoy Anna and the Apocalypse, TJ, and let us know what you think after you're done.
Yeah, it was a cool one and sad.
Yeah,
it was a sad movie.
Very sad. Very sad. All right, that's going to do it, folks. Stay spooky, and we'll be back. Deadsville Horror Talk's going to be coming back. Make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Especially follow us here on TikTok. Please make sure you follow. We need to reach 1,000 subscribers or followers, whatever the heck it is here, so that we can have access to putting our live through Restream so you guys can see some of the graphics and all that kind of cool stuff too. All right, that's going to do it. We will see you guys again soon. Stay spooky.